You actually said this earlier on that possession is 9/10 of the law. So we were talking about dealers as opposed to a direct owner who is the seller to buyer. The owner will sometimes send the horse to a dealer. And this is again, because we're moving towards discussing what an agreement should encompass. A dealer then, you said once they take possession of the horse is effectively theirs from a legal...
No, but the problem is,
signed.
without having signed, the problem is that when we take ownership of a horse, ownership passes when the horse has been transferred from one to the other. But that transfer that happens has to also happen with an intent. So I intend to buy the horse, you intend to sell the horse. The intent was there. There's a cause for us to do this agreement. I want to buy a horse, you want to sell a horse. And I've paid the price, be that in kind, donation, whatever it happened.
In kind.
In
That's
kind.
fantastic.
Maybe in kind. Yes, maybe.
I want to know more about this, but carry on.
South Africa, anything's possible. But it's to say, then ownership actually passes. So you could have a situation where I bought a horse at the same yard where I ride. The horse is going to be still stabled at that yard. So it itself hasn't moved, but the intention of the parties' minds are now that that horse is now mine and no longer the yard's horse. What happens often, and what concerns me, is when horses go to dealers and whether that horse has now been transferred, it now lives at the dealer. And I think it's regarding leasing as well, and I know we're not going to touch on that now, but it is something that we need to at some stage really discuss, is the dealer then representing that it owns the horse. So that in my mind, when you use a dealer to sell your horse, the seller, make sure there's an agreement between you and the dealer so that there's no misrepresentation about the fact that that horse is still owned by the owner and no longer by, or not by the dealer, unless the agreement is that the dealer does take ownership and pays basically the seller, and it takes the risks then on selling the horse. But that usually doesn't happen. Usually with it's on almost like, I want to say concession, sounds terrible, but that it holds the horse, it will advertise the horse, it will show the horse, it might school the horse in between.
Listen,